We continue our focus on job hunting in 2026. My colleague Mpho Sithole is joined by a career expert to assist on securing that all-important job. Mpho, it's over to you.
A very good afternoon to you, Mfundo. Thank you very much. Of course, in today's job market, there are many significant tools needed in order for one to stand out. And one of those elements is an impactful CV. But to expand the conversation, I am joined live right here by Elek Blom, who is founder of 360 Careers. Elek, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for hosting me, Mpho.
It's an important time, isn't it? I mean, one can look the part, dress the part, even feel the part, but all of that needs to translate well on paper and sell one for their skills and qualification. What are recruiters looking for in a CV?
Yeah, so the most important thing with this is that your CV is your first introduction to employers. So if your CV is not correct, immediately you are giving the wrong impression, right?
Yeah.
So, and to answer that question is that the CV is structured differently depending on where you are in your career. For an example, what I have here is an example of someone who's like at an entry level and someone who's experienced, and they require different things. So when you send a CV, when you draft a CV as someone as an entry level job seeker, what's important here is potential.
Yes.
And as an experienced hire, it's impact, right? So how you draft the CV, it's very different, right? Here, you highlight your skills, you highlight your education, because as an entry-level job seeker, you don't have the job experience yet. Now, I get a lot of people asking me, what do I put on my CV if I don't even have a job? So you have to put the projects and practicals that you do, right? Because the projects and practicals that you do at university or side projects that you do, they give you the experience, and that's where you actually apply the skills that you learn in your degree. It's with the projects.
Yeah. So as we get a sense of the breakdown with the CV, I mean, we're going to build it up very nicely.
Yeah.
Why are people struggling to get jobs? I mean, you're putting things down on paper, you've put your skills, your education, the projects that you're busy with, but still, you don't get that call.
Correct, yeah. So it's not a one answer that fits every scenario, right?
Yeah.
Because people are in different stages in their career, and people are, they're struggling with different things, right? So there's three things that I tend to frame this answer. So number one is direction. So with direction, what this means is that you have a degree, right?
Yeah.
Direction means that you have to look at the jobs and where the demand are in terms of the jobs that you're applying for. So that's why you sometimes find that a lot of people are applying for jobs, but people are struggling with getting the jobs, is because there's no demand for those jobs, right? So they're sitting at home with CV. So you have to assess and align your skills with where the demand is.
Yeah.
Right?
As you talk to that, in terms of direction, there are new phrases like ATS friendly being one of those catchphrases when it comes to the world of work and compiling a clean-cut CV with neat headings. What does ATS friendly mean, and why are recruiters looking out for it?
That's a very important question. So let's come back to the CV part up here, because I think all of this will tie into me answering your question, right? So for an experienced person, the reason why I say impact is because obviously they are looking for experience and they are looking for results, right? So when you write your CV as an experienced person, is that you have to show what experience have you gained from the roles that you've worked in, and what results have you gotten out of that. Because as an employer, I have a job specification. It means that I have a problem and I need someone who's going to help me solve the problem. So I need someone with the experience to solve the problems that I have. Now, to answer your question, both of these people, they need tailoring. Because it's important to tailor your CV, right? Tailoring your CV means that if an employer says, I want someone with this experience, I want someone with these skills, I want someone who's worked on this, you have to take what you have as the skills, as the experience, and match what the employer is looking for. Because an ATS system is going to try and match your CV to what the employer is looking for.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying that a different CV is needed for a different job.
Correct. So you have to tailor your CV for each and every job because it has to be targeted. Otherwise, an ATS system, it's called an application tracking system. It gives a score to your CV, and if your CV doesn't match the job requirements, you get a low score and automatically you get rejected.
Very well. Thank you so much. Some insight there. Of course, giving you some tips as you are out there looking for work. A CV, an impactful CV, is one that is highly important. It's back to you in studio.
All right, Mpho, thank you very much for that.